Composition can be amongst other things to take in consideration if you want to make good drawings, and most specifically the imaginatively composed drawings. And in today's video I'm going to show you how to draw in the consideration of your composition, and we're going to take a look in some of the rules and techniques that can help you in your composition process. And let's get started. When we talk about composition, we have to consider positioning, placement, symmetry, and perspective, which the expressive are imaginary images which it is composed out of nothing by the use of basic compositional techniques. Now that being said, there are several types of composition. Some of the type of composition are like the simple one and the complex composition. When we talk about the simple composition, we talk about the composition which it is basically composed out of some few materials related to their background, which I mean it is depth and the way they are related to each other, and they basically smaller or bigger in size, but mostly they're gonna be in a small number, maybe 3 or 4 objects. Moving on to the complex composition. A complex composition, it is a composition which it is contained more than one simple composition, basically mean combining a composition inside a composition. So now we have seen the real meaning of composition. Before we move to the basics of composition, let's now see why should we use our composition techniques. First thing, it is that you can mix references. One among of the best thing in composition is that you can mix reference. You can combine and tweak things in any kind of mean other way you want it or you wish. You can take another object moving to another object using some artistic lessons to making it really preferable. Moving next to another tip, which is you can do your own adjustification. You can tweak everything out, like what works, what is not working, and what if. That is major process used by among of my favorite artists, Andrew Tischler. Big shout out to you, Andrew. Maintain the proportion. Maintaining the proportion is among of the major advantages that you can get when drawing your object and your drawings, maintaining the composition techniques. This comes hand in hand, as I said previously in my last video of proportion, is that composition can help you to maintain your proportionality by the relation of each object size and the relation of distance between object and another object, also the depth that they are making, relating it to mid-ground, background, and foreground. Moving on to another tip, which is defining the position. Now you can define the position of your object when you have the compositional techniques. Some of the methods that can help you to shift object from place to another to make your composition looking really good. You can shift object from one place to another using some of the rules to guide you, like symmetry and perspective as the major one. Moving on to another tip is that you can imaginarily compose your drawing using some of the basic compositional techniques and method and rules by amongst of the rules like symmetric and other principles like the perspective, which gonna help you to compose good and high expressive with emotion drawings. That being said, let's dive into the basics. Now let's get started. We start with the very basics of composition, and what we're gonna start with is gonna start by defining the general shapes occupying our composition. First object in this composition, we start with objects from the very far behind to the objects to the closest viewpoint of our viewer. Looking in the matter of depth in this composition is that the object the way has been occupied is that the slightly depth of the first and second object are slightly the same.